Trains can be something very impressive because they now exist in a wide variety of sizes and with the most amazing functions. Again and again, you can find reports and reports about which special trains exist in some countries in the world. But not only in the real world there are some impressive trains, but also creative artists who have designed their own creations. In fact, in this video, we're going to show you the most curious LEGO train creations from various artists around the world. So stay tuned here at Wonderlane. We start directly with a particularly impressive creation of the YouTuber HalfAsleepChris. He is known for his cool LEGO creations, but this time he decided to build a train track in a snowy forest in his own backyard. To do this, he first starts by building a climbing frame over which he then laid a tarp as a cover. As he calls it the moon base, it will later serve as a kind of small closed hall for the LEGO train track. In the next step, he laid the tracks of the train and decorated the interior of the capsule with various shrubs and plants so that the whole thing gets its look, and you think that you would be in a forest. However, he also takes advantage of his other LEGO sets to add a few houses to the capsule and bring more life. The highlight of this whole construction is the lake in the middle where the train goes around afterwards. He also builds a rather large and elaborate pipe from his own materials in which he has laid various LED strips which the train should pass during its passage. After the track has been given a snow and ice look and decorated with a few ice cubes, the train ride starts, which can be set in motion via a remote controller. The starting point is in the living room and leads once on the tracks through your own apartment to the way outside. Outside, the train passes the moon base over a small bridge. On the way through the moon base, the passengers experience a short ride through a tunnel inside a small mountain landscape in which there is also the skeleton of a lion. Next, we take a look at what happens when you connect a LEGO train with a real slide. Here, the tracks of a LEGO set were laid along a children's slide. Due to the high gradient, the train reaches a high speed when starting. Once at the bottom, it passes through a 180-degree clockwise curve, which then steers it further through a bath and then through a ball pool. Last but not least, the train makes another lap around the bed on its way. As you can see, there are a lot of people who come up with their own stations and working train routes at home. Our next candidate takes it to a whole new level because he actually went so far as to restructure his entire apartment into a functioning LEGO train station. The tracks run parallel to each other and run right through the entire house. During their journey, the trains even pass a small bridge next to a staircase. The impressive thing is that the trains never get in each other's way, even though they usually have dozens of trailers. So this route was well thought out since you are also traveling on several levels. However, you only get that certain something when you have built a real city around your LEGO train track, as you can see in our next clip. Because on this trip, the train passes several tunnels through different mountains and passes very different cities and small landscapes. After the train has started out of the station, it crosses a building on which there is a helicopter and also passes an ice cream stand. In the middle, there is even a large business tower. The whole landscape extends over various large tables on which several thousand LEGO parts were built with various minifigures, buildings from LEGO sets, and numerous decorative items. Earlier we mentioned that LEGO trains do not only run with one wagon, but sometimes several dozen wagons are behind it. But we have never asked ourselves how long you can really build a LEGO train and that it still remains functional. For this reason, we take a look at the experiment called LEGO 60197. The name stands for the LEGO city set in, which there is a yellow train. The test was how many cars you can build together until they become so heavy that they can no longer pull each other. The result is amazing, because a whole 26 train parts from the LEGO set could be assembled that they are still functional and drive. One can actually speak here of a world record of the longest LEGO train from a set. Since we have now, however, all the time inside an apartment and closed rooms, we now dare a step outside into the real world and nature, because here you can see the longest outdoor LEGO train track ever built. We are on a kind of farm where you can see several machines in the background. This LEGO train track is definitely creatively designed, because only things from nature have been used to build, for example, a tunnel or a bridge. As you can see here, for example, we pass the first bridge, which is made of tree trunks. Then we drive through a small metal park that was built with the help of bike racks. The first time it gets really dark for the passengers is when they cross the stone tunnel. Also, in terms of speed, this LEGO train is quite something, because if you take a look from the POV perspective of the driver, you notice how fast you cross the track. In the next creation, we remain outside, but this time the LEGO train starts on a green field. This time, however, the final destination is underwater. Thus, the passengers cross the various elements of Mother Nature on the journey. Once you have completed the part on the lawn, the tracks continue down over a small bridge into the swimming pool. The impressive thing here is that the train itself continues in the water. Even underwater, it doesn't get more boring, because here the train also crosses a small bridge at the abyss of the swimming pool until it reaches its final destination at some rocks. Next is this wacky creation where the tracks are a whole 68 meters long. Akiyuky Brick Channel built a crazy roller coaster track in the middle of his home. The whole thing was filmed with a small GoPro on the top of the wagon. After the counter has counted down, the roller coaster starts with an enormous speed. The track is very relaxed at the beginning because the passengers do not cross any big obstacles besides a few curves and a few small hills. However, until it comes to the entrance at the front door, because there the track runs horizontally along the door. Here the passengers have to adjust to enormously high G-forces until it then continues vertically along the top of the wall. At the top, it is now really crazy because there are several loops that the roller coaster crosses during the ride. The special thing here are also the walls before you get to the rocket, which automatically open by themselves when crossing. However, the track does not only run on the first floor of the apartment, but you can even get to the first floor via the staircase until it then gets through a few loops back to the starting point at the countdown. In our next LEGO train track was once again a unique feature built in, because in this LEGO train track, there is actually a spiral tower. The train travels normally on the track until it reaches the spiral tower. There it goes in circular movements piece by piece up to the lunch table. On the lunch table, you cross a small station on which several LEGO minifigures are placed. Next to the LEGO minifigures, a cup of coffee and a croissant are ready for the perfect breakfast. After you have taken your refreshment from the lunch table, you continue through the kitchen where you drive along the sink. There you pass a bottle with oil as well as a pan that is on the stove until it then goes in a curve around the stove. After a few more meters, the train takes the spiral tower back down to bring its guests back to the starting point. If you look at the first few seconds of this video clip, you might think that it was perhaps played at increased speed, but this is actually not the case. In fact, this train is the fastest LEGO train in the world. However, this model is operated only and exclusively with LEGO Technic engines and has no other tools available. So that the train can be so fast, a few components of the LEGO set were removed. Equipped with 2 drive axles, a speed of 21 kilometers per hour was measured during the journey using a GPS calculation device. This makes this normal LEGO train the fastest in the world. In our next LEGO train ride, the whole thing is not nearly as fast, but all the more beautiful. Now we present you one of the most clicked LEGO train videos on YouTube. The video is called Train to Atlantis, and as of today has collected 81 million views. The train starts in the backyard of a house and crosses half the garden until it reaches the garden fence. The track goes around the side of the house, and the train leaves the area of the housing estate through a small pipe and slowly approaches a beach area. At the beach itself, the train track continues and passes through a sandy beach decorated with a few larger stones. The tracks extend over several meters over the beach until it ends with the dive into the cool water of the Atlantic. And that's it again with today's video and the craziest LEGO train creations we could find worldwide for you. Which LEGO train or which construction did you like best? Please write it in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel to not miss any more videos in the future. We'll see you in the next episode here at Wonderlane.